All right, it's Burrows from down under. Today's talk is about how to coach. All right, well, what do I mean by coaching? Well, coaching is a lot about teaching, but it's also about motivation, and it's about getting the best out of you. The best coaches in the world are usually considered to be in professional sports. But there's a lot of people who are not sport-oriented at all who still need coaching. Now, being a coach, well, not everyone likes to be coached in the same fashion. If it's boisterous boys, they need a strong, firm hand. Someone who is able to bark at them, tell them to settle down, and have a bit of an imposing figure to them so that the boisterous boys settle down. So there has to be a certain amount of authority with boys. But once you've got a group of adults that need coaching, do you still need to have that same type of coach? I don't think so. I think it's actually detrimental to coach adults as if they were boisterous boys. Unless you had a bunch of adults who are behaving like boisterous boys, in which case you might still need to pull that type of coach out of your toolkit. So a coach for other human beings needs to have a toolkit of coaching methodologies, coaching alter egos, and the coach, really, the first thing on his book is, am I a good coach? And what kind of coach can I offer to other people? So a good coach needs to know themselves very, very well. They know the past history, and it's awfully boring for a coach if they're always playing the same coach for everyone else. So there should be something written. Number one, my coaching creativity comes first. Then immediately I think, well, it should be, did the people you coach get value from you? Well, I was thinking about ranking them 1 and 2, but maybe let's just put them, these are the topmost things that you have to focus on. Are you being creative? And are your coachable people getting value? Now that brings up another thing. Coachable people. Are the people you're trying to coach actually coachable? I mean, they could be people where, you talk to them, it goes in one ear and out the other. Or they could be people who highly dislike being coached. So perhaps that needs to be discussed with, let's call them your clients, the people who you're going to coach. You're going to have to figure out, all right, did you ever have coaches in the past? And in general, did you like them? What did you like about them? What didn't you like about them? Because then you get a good feel for the way your client likes to be coached. And they might, say, oh, I don't mind any kind of coaching. Or they might say, I never had a decent coach in my whole life. And maybe they can put their finger on what they liked and disliked, or maybe they just can't. I don't know. I can't give you words. So, that's why you have to be a creative coach. It's very valuable to ask probing questions of your client. And some clients might start talking your ear off. So you're going to have to say to them, okay, you're going to have 10 minutes to answer this question. I'm going to time you and I'm going to cut you off at 10 minutes because we have to move along. And if you spend your whole hour of coaching time you talking, then I haven't coached you. Unless it's a long-term contract and, I'm going to be your coach, but you really insist on me listening to you answer questions for the first 20 sessions. Is that impossible? Absolutely not. I'm thinking of a particular movie. It was a strange movie. It was about a university professor. He was, let's say, 62 years old. And he was looking for a young boyfriend. Obviously, he was a minority, but anyway, that was the movie. He was 62 and he wanted to have a young boyfriend, let's say 25. Someone who was basically the age of a graduate student at a university. And he basically wanted the young person to come to know him as a human being. Well, let's just put it this way. He wanted a boyfriend. And the young person seeing a man of 62, it's true, some young people really think men of 62 are fabulous, especially if they're smart university professors. But some of them are just basically whores. In other words, they sell themselves for money. And in the movie, that was the case. So what's the point of this story? Well, the university professor paid the young man $200 per visit, and they didn't have anything but conversation for many sessions. Because the university professor felt that if the young one came to know him, his personality, he would come to love the old man. And it wouldn't be a whore and customer kind of relationship, which is what the young man did for a living. So, getting back to the coach and his client, maybe that's what's supposed to happen if it's going to be a long-term coaching thing. Maybe the coach is going to ask some pertinent questions and say, well, what do you want to do here? Is this a one-time coaching session for an hour? Or do you want to have me come to see you every day for a month? That I'll answer how much time is going to be allotted for you to talk and how much time there's going to be for me to listen and for me to respond. So you have to get those boundaries out of the way. If it's just an initial coaching session getting to know you, then don't have the customer or the client talk too much, because then they talked and you didn't say anything and they got no impression from you. So perhaps that should be some probing questions at the beginning. Let's say it's an hour-long consult. Someone says, what if it's 15 minutes? Let's go with the elevator scenario. The elevator scenario is you've got to pitch yourself to somebody who's the buyer in an elevator. So how long have you got? 3 minutes. Not even 3 minutes. Sorry, he might only be on the elevator for 4 floors. So let's say you've got 90 seconds. You've got 90 seconds to make a great impression. So, what would I say to you in 90 seconds? I've already talked more than 90 seconds. So far, you know my kind of coaching style. I want to know what kind of coaching you like. We haven't even talked about what you wanted to be coached on. So you're going to want to know my bona fides, which is basically what makes you suitable as a coach. And then I would tell you, well, I have a vast background in many things. I'm an older gentleman. I'm not 62 like Jeffrey in the movie, the one that was trying to get a 25-year-old boyfriend, but vast amounts of experience in a myriad of different kinds of things. Yes, I have 2 university degrees and a number of different college courses, certificate, etc. The point of the matter is, why do you want to be coached? To get something out of you that perhaps you didn't know you had, or you'll have a feeling that you've got something. There's a little doggy barking at me. Look at this little fella. So the whole point is, the value you're going to get is you're going to get something out of yourself that perhaps you have an idea that you should have, but you don't know how to get it out of yourself. Or you just feel like you're flat and you have nothing to offer and you need someone to pry something out of you because you just feel like no matter where you go, the doors are slamming in your faces. Or people just seem to... Or maybe you're just sick of the same kind of people. If it's law of attraction, you're sick of the same kind of people coming into your life and you want a different kind of person. And so you're looking for help in what you're attracting into your life. So what I would offer you at the Bob Ross School of Enlightenment is going to be custom tailored to what you need. And what everyone needs from a coach is an advancing personality, discovering new skills that you had no idea that you either have or could develop, or dusting off some old skills that you'd long forgotten about, and lo and behold, you find that you're actually pretty good at something. You might need ongoing coaching. It might be originally some of these kind of things, and then once you really get good at that, you might say, I don't need coaching on this anymore, for the time being anyway, but what else can you coach me on at the current time? And then it might be some more probing questions. Or it might be, I want to put coaching on hold for a little while until something else new comes up for me. Or maybe I'll leave it with you, and maybe you'll call me back in a certain amount of time and check in and see if anything twigs. In other words, I don't want you to be a bothersome coach. If I don't feel I need any coaching, if I'm on a winning streak, well, do you still want the coach on the team once you've started the winning streak, especially when your coach is the one that helped you get on the winning streak? A stupid person would say, I don't need you anymore, coach. I'm winning. A smart person would say, this person helped me before. Now, do you want to stick with your existing coach who got you on a winning streak, or do you want to trade? Somebody wants, I want to trade up to a better coach because I'm in a new league. Well, these are common human things. But if you get a new coach, you're going to have to train the new coach. Which means, unless you're going to get your old coach to, coach the new coach. I mean, it's a pain in the ass to hand off a coaching assignment to someone new. But it's always available. There's always choices that can be done. All right, we're going to talk about if you have 90 seconds inside an elevator to pitch your client. So you're on the elevator, the potential client gets on board. You don't know who they are. You take a look at what they're wearing. You say, hello there. And maybe they look at you with a dumb stare. Or maybe they smile at you with soft eyes and they look at you and smile. In the first case, you've got a dead wood kind of person. What do you do with a dead wood person? Well, you're going to be in there for 90 seconds. You can spend 90 seconds, looking at the mirror on the side of the elevator. Or you could say to the person, "What's up your ass, you silly git? I said hello. Don't you know how to respond to someone when they say hello?" You could get right in their face. If they're 250 pounds and full of muscle and they look mean, they got tattoos all over them. Fortune favors the bold is what my friend always says. Anyways, you could try it. You could be bold and not be scared of the big fella who could pin you. You never know. You're going to be trapped with this person for 90 seconds. If you really piss them off, they might slam you into the wall and squish you. So, are you going to go on your gut feeling? Anyway, that's the person who is the dead wood person who doesn't respond to your hello. That's one response. The other thing is the person that smiles back at you. Well, I mean, typically what happens is small talk about the weather or something. But you're trying to pitch them. You're trying to pitch them to be your new client. So you really want to get right to the point because you don't have much time. So you might say, "I'm Bob Ross of Bob Ross Enlightenment, and I'm a coach. Here's my card. The kind of coaching I do is to do with your consciousness, and it's getting the best out of your consciousness. So what for? Well, so you can be a better. No one wants to be a better person. What do people want? They want sex, money, power." Maybe they just want a new friend, a friendly face. You don't really know what they want. They don't really know what they need. But if you could get a little bit in there, that's not very much of the 90 seconds so far. You can say, "What are you working on right now?" Well, I'm Bob Ross Enlightenment. And what I'm doing right now is I'm looking for new clients. I'm prospecting new clients. If you, anybody you know, that sounds like a real estate agent. If you or anybody you know wanting to buy or sell real estate, I'm your man. Well, there's a million other people in the book that sell real estate. How many other enlightenment coaches do you know? Well, there's still quite a few. Maybe not as many as the Real Estate Association, but there's still quite a few. So, what do I specialize in? Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one. What does Bob Ross specialize in? Because if I just say just do enlightenment, you don't even know what enlightenment is. Advancing your consciousness, you don't know what the education, you're going to teach me a course? I'm going to have to work on this, you see? So you start off with your pitch, your 90-second pitch, and I got like 20 seconds into my 90 seconds and I hit a roadblock. So I can't come up with what I specialize in. So I'm going to have to jot that down. Bob, you got 20 seconds into your spiel for the elevator pitch and you fell down on your ass because you didn't have an answer to this good question. So this is why we have to practice. So you might come back and you say to this client, and I help people practice for real life interactions with important people. Who's important? Your loved ones, your friends, your bosses, people who might like to invest in you. In other words, I help you. And then I ran out of words. So you see, it's an ongoing thing, working on your elevator pitch. But that's what you should have. You should have a 90-second, and it shouldn't be canned either. In other words, sometimes people get these 90-second pitches, and as they say, the same pitch every time. Maybe you get really good at your pitch. Oh, it's possible. It's possible you've worked on your pitch so long, you've got so effective, it's like 9 out of 10 people that you don't do the elevated 90-second pitch with end up taking your card and calling you. That's fantastic. Can you get better? Well, there's still one person who's turned you down. So I would still say, yeah, there's probably something that you can really, really learn from this one person who turned you down. The other people, yeah, you could learn things, but this one person, this is the one I'd go after? Question mark? Well, there's the 80-20 rule that says that 20% of all your efforts and all your business comes from that 20%, and the other 80%, they don't get much from them. Pareto principle, it's called. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go for broke and keep running down the hallway after this one person who just doesn't like you? Or do you want to focus on the 90% that do like you? Spend 10% of your time on that 1%, that 10% that don't like you. I would still not write them off because I think there's something you can learn from that person, but don't waste all your time on it. 90% of your time goes to the 90% of the people that like you. No. Because again, it's the 80-20 principle. 90% of the people like you, but only 20% of those people are worth the time of day for you. Why? Well, that's the Pareto principle. Is it true, is what I would say next. Is this actually a true thing, or is it just a stupid thing that's been passed around like an old wives' tale? You might try it out. Anyways, I'm just going to say, focus on the 90% of the people that like you. That's the end of your lesson. I'm Bob Ross, Enlightenment Coach. Call me up. Ask me questions. I need clients. I'm prospecting.